My name is Randy Jablonka, and I'm a film lighting technician from Vancouver, Canada, where I'm predominantly known as the Soldier for Hollywood. I specialize in eye light and interactive lighting effects on major Hollywood productions produced here in Vancouver. It's a really cool job, and I'm very proud of the work I've done over the years. But my real passion is music and music production. So, after a 15-hour day or longer on set, I come home to my secret little music temple and create music. And today, for the first time ever, I'm coming out from behind the camera to talk about my experience with Acoustic Fields and how a 30-minute phone call with Dennis Foley changed my life forever. So let's talk a little bit about my room. My room is a dual usage room intended for tracking and mixing. Originally, it was just a jam room. I converted it to a recording studio after digital recording became more affordable to the masses. And so I went from a jam room to actually thinking I could produce music in here at a professional quality. I reached out to somebody who knew about acoustic treatment, and they advised me on what to make and where to put it. And it was the same 703 insulation that all the studios have, with the same acoustic fabric that all the other studios have. And I put them in the same places that everybody else puts the stuff in. So I thought I was good to go in that department. I didn't think about that could be the issue. Well, when I first started making music in here, everything sounded like crap. And that's to be expected because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm self-taught. So I bought all the gear that I would need, and then over time, get better with skills and training and all, and practice and all that kind of stuff. And then as I did get better at producing songs and putting it all together, it would sound good in my room. But if I would send it to get mastering, or we go listen to it somewhere else, it was not translating. There was like stuff that was seriously wrong, and I would be getting confused going, how is that possible? Because it sounds great here, but then a whole frequency range would be missing, for certain instruments, and it just started really getting frustrated. It got to the point that, coming into the room, there would be like this kind of, underlying sense of anxiety and frustration. It's like, okay, well, no matter what I do, it's not right. So I started thinking that maybe my gear's the problem. I was finding myself spending more time, instead of making music, I'd find myself on forums, gear reviews, watching tutorials instead of making music. I was driving myself nuts. I'm going to get rid of everything in this room that does not inspire me. So that means I got rid of my old converters with the noisy fans, and I replaced it all with Antelope HD converters. I even got the 10MX atomic clock. I got rid of my old Pro Control, and I got a Slate Raven. And the final thing was to replace my 15-year-old KRK VD8s with Barefoot Micromain 26s. And I can assure you that after doing all of those changes, it has never sounded better in this room. It was mind-blowing, and especially the Barefoots, because they're advertised as they tell you the truth of what you're hearing is what's there. And the undeniable truth that they were telling me in this space is that there was something terribly wrong with my room, and I needed to find somebody who could help me fix those problems. The first thing I noticed when I looked on the Acoustic Fields website was the video section. There was just so many videos. And there's Dennis Foley. He's explaining things in explicit detail, answering questions I didn't even know I had about acoustics. And I really felt watching those videos that, okay, this person might be able to not only solve the problems that I was having, but actually be able to explain to me why in a way that I could understand it, because the videos were pretty easy to follow. So I was excited about that. And then I noticed there's a 30-minute phone call. And I thought, if this guy is going to offer his time and explain to me, help me with my room problems, why wouldn't I do that? You know what I mean? It's like a complete no-brainer. So one of the videos that I watched that really hit home was the Gear Pride video. So here I am, having purchased all this new equipment, changing things around gear-wise, and now I know through the video that I might not be getting 100% out of the equipment that I just bought because the room is hindering that. So that's when I knew that I think I need to get in touch with Dennis and find out, to get to the bottom of what's really going on with this room. I fill out the form, sent in what my studio is made of, all the materials, what I have, the size of my speakers, and then I just waited for the phone call. Well, the 30-minute phone call had come and gone, and the first thing I wanted to do was throw up. I wasn't afraid of the truth, and I wanted to know the truth, and I just needed to know how bad it was. So I went into the phone call expecting, to be told there's going to need to be some changes made. I wasn't expecting him to tell me, he says, I don't know how to tell you this, Randy, but you're going to have to pull everything out of there and start again. My room had overabsorption in the mid to higher frequencies, and I had nowhere near enough of low-end management to handle the 30 to 50 cycles. So until I had that taken care of, all the other stuff wasn't doing what it needed to be doing. And I had some bass traps that we would made of these like 2-foot pipe insulation with drywall on the top and bottom, and they did something, but nowhere near enough. And Dennis was like, that's like trying to stop a hurricane with a feather. You need mass. To be told that nothing in there is working was a lot to take in. And so I needed to take some time to think about that, because it would be quite an undertaking. And to do all at once, I really needed to process this. How would I explain Dennis Foley? He is so generous with his time and energy and knowledge for those who are serious about this and really want to learn. He really has a passion for what he's doing. And it's like he really wants you to have the best you can possibly have for your room. That's my impression that I got from him talking to him on the phone. That's the impression that I get from him in the videos. He kind of reminds me of like the Colonel Sanders of acoustic treatment. It's like, here's this guy with this secret recipe that if everyone just stopped and tried it, they would say, this is the best thing I've ever had. But here he is, marching up and down the freeway, trying to show his recipe to people, as many people as he can. It's not a cookie cutter process. It's like, you have your room, he has his database, he puts them together and goes, this is the solution based on my research. And it's kind of like, okay, so after having that phone call, and while I was thinking about all this stuff, I go, you know what? One of my biggest concerns was, does this stuff really work? So many other brands, so many other companies and websites claim to do the same thing for a lot less of a price. So I'm like, okay, so that was something, and how do you know? So I started looking into the client testimonials to see what other people had to say who had taken the leap, like I was thinking about doing, but still not sure if this was the direction I wanted to go.